is another numerical superiority situation drill. Basically, it involves 3 groups of 4 players, thus the name 34. Let's look at the positions necessary to run this drill. As you can see here, we have defenders, 2 defenders in the lane in these positions. We also will put 2 players as defensive players at the hash marks near the midcourt. The second group of 4 players will be set up in a similar fashion at the other end of the court. As you can see here, we will have 2 defenders in the lane, and similarly we will have 2 defenders at the hash marks in the midcourt area. If we have additional players beyond the 12 minimum required to run this drill, we will ask them to place themselves at one of the 4 hash mark defensive positions. In this case, at this end of the floor, additional players would line up behind these two defensive players. The final 4 positions are filled by offensive players in transition. We have 2 rules that we incorporate to run this drill effectively. The first rule allows our 2 defensive players at the hash marks to leave as soon as the outside offensive players cross their position, as you can see here. The second rule determines who goes back on offensive transition. This is simply done by having the 4 defensive players become the new offensive team in transition, and they proceed down the court and attack the same defensive situation as just occurred at the other end. The 4 remaining players fill one of the 4 defensive spots at that particular end of the court. This is determined amongst themselves. The primary difference in this drill from our other transitional drills is the inclusion of late arriving defensive players off of the transition and their effect on both offensive and defensive strategies and techniques. This, again, is a continuous drill and provides for great conditioning. It also involves a large number of players, which we as coaches like, since we can include as many players in a drill as possible. This drill contains all aspects of our transitional play. And finally, this drill requires that our players learn and play a variety of positions.
In this